What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And it looks like the rioters are playing a game of monkey see, monkey do. And before all of those that are sensitive to words and think that I might be talking about real monkeys and calling the rioters monkeys, no. It's just a reference to people who just follow suit and how things can get out of control and become contagious. And then all of a sudden you see everybody saying, I want to benefit from this too. Now, it looks like the protests slash riots are spreading across the United States. And I'm sure some of them are really protesting. But then there are those that says, let's go ahead and get the riots going in my city and in my city as well. Because, you know, we saw how certain people could benefit up in Minneapolis, and maybe we could do that here, which is not a good look. It's not one of them things you should be saying, let's start something up here. Yeah. Plus, so far, the man has been arrested, but I guess people aren't satisfied with that. They want to see more folks arrested. Now, we'll say they might need to pump the brakes just a bit, because word on the street is the autopsy came back and apparently he didn't die of asphyxiation, which really I don't think would make that much of a difference. Whatever he died from, the question would become, was it eviscerated by this guy kneeling on him and them having him face down for so long? If they'd have had him up sitting somewhere and he would have just died in the back of the car from whatever he may have died from, then that's one thing. But holding him down like that could have contributed to his death. So I don't think they'll be off the hook anyway. Now, in a weird twist, in a weird turn of events, it appears that these peaceful protesters decided to visit their favorite news station who fights for justice and always highlights the racial tension in the United States. They're always on the side of those peaceful protesters. Decided to just tear up CNN. Now, what was crazy about that is, as they were tearing up CNN and breaking windows and started to even go in, you know what was standing between those peaceful protesters and CNN? Was the police. Those racist police that treats the peaceful protesters different than they treated those white nationalists up there in Michigan. You know, because those white nationalists up there in Michigan, they had guns and stuff like that, even though they weren't using them, even though they weren't breaking windows out, even though, you know, they weren't telling people, you know, shut up, get out of here. They weren't throwing stuff at the police. They weren't burning stuff, none of that stuff. Even though they weren't doing that, apparently, according to CNN and MSNBC and all of them, the cops should have just rolled up on them and start blasting. That's what should have happened. But yet, the cops should have been very, very, you know, just accommodating to all of those people when they started it in Minneapolis, tearing up stuff. They shouldn't have used tear gas. They shouldn't have even had, you know, riot gear on and shields and stuff like that, because they were peaceful when they were breaking out windows and burning stuff and other people getting shot and stabbed and stuff. They were peaceful. And CNN and MSNBC wanted to highlight the difference, the way the police treated the two crowds, obvious because they were black. And then the other crowd was majority white, and the one crowd was majority black. So they treated them differently just because of that, not because of their behavior. It was because one crowd was protesting over racial injustice, and they were predominantly black, and the other crowd was protesting about their freedoms in America and the ability to go back to work, and they were mostly white, and they had guns. Yeah, they had guns. So what I couldn't understand is why, when those peaceful protesters was coming to peacefully destroy CNN, why didn't CNN say, hey, cops, stand down. Leave those peaceful protesters alone to destroy our building and facility? They didn't do that? No? Oh, so they went from peaceful protesters to rioters all of a sudden? I wonder if CNN is still calling them peaceful protesters, because they look pretty peaceful as they broke out CNN's windows and started to enter. And then those racist cops in those riot shields and gear, all that stuff that made them not come in, that stopped them, they did it all because of racism. Okay. See, this is where you trying to virtue signal and start a racial divide in America and it has nothing to do with race. It has something to do with right and wrong, but you make it out of race. This is when you look stupid, because whether you are black, white, orange, purple, green, it is not right to destroy property. It is not right to burn buildings. It's not right to act a fool like that. Peacefully protesting don't look like what I saw on TV. You had to distinguish between what is peaceful and not peaceful. And then as soon as the cops say, all right, everybody disperse, then y'all cry racism and say, well, here it is. The cops make them disperse because they're racist police. Versus police watching people break the law. Just as wrong as it was the way they treated George on the ground. That's no different than the way they treated AutoZone and CNN. Now, as much as I hate CNN, I still would say, guys, even though it probably do deserve to be torn down and all that stuff, but you can't do that, all right? And that's the difference between the left and the right. People that are conservatives look at things as right and wrong, and regardless of who it's being done to. Meaning, if I hate CNN the way they lie, and MSNBC and all of them, they lie on the president, they lie about social issues, I still would defend their right to free speech. The left won't. When we say something, then they want to silence us. When it comes down to, quote unquote, the law, just as I say it's not right for them to break out the windows and burn down AutoZone and the libraries and all of that stuff, I would also say it ain't right to burn down funky, nasty, crooked, stinking, hole in the wall CNN. So it's not about black or white. It's about right or wrong. And it appears that you got certain groups that don't care about that. They just care about pushing a narrative of black and white, gay and straight, men and women, anything they can create a divide. That's what they do. And now they're seeing that it doesn't always work. What happens when those people you try to protect through virtual signaling and making up narratives that don't exist in that case or that application turn on you? And the very people you demonize now have to come and rescue your butt. Now, you've been listening to Kevin at Kevin's Corner. By the way, these aren't prescription glasses. I'm about to go to the gun range. These are my shooting glasses. I'm going to let off some steam. This is how I let off my steam. I don't go around breaking windows, burning down stuff. Now, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and the notification button. Find me on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube Wednesday nights live, 7:30. Check out Extreme Tees, my sponsor. Links below this video. If you like something, click on it, and you'll get a 20% discount. And what else can I say? Oh, if you want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, feel free. The link is below. Just go ahead and click on it, and I appreciate it. All right, God bless. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner.